He asked if we could meet up later.
Huh? But didn't you say earlier? Damn it! So that was a lie?
'Cause I thought it'd be doubted if I admitted it. So I figured it was better not to say anything.
So, what was your answer to Mahiru's invitation?
I told her it was fine. I mean, I didn't have a reason to say no. Unlike everyone else here, Mahiru was someone I wasn't embarrassed to be seen with.
You always have to say something snide.
At the time, we were supposed to meet around 2 p.m., but... around noon, there was a letter inside my mailbox.
A letter?
Yeah, this one. I saw this letter and went to the beach house at that time.
I can prove it with this! This letter. Doesn't it look like its contents are different from the letter Mahiru had? Mahiru's letter said to meet at 2:30 p.m., but in Hyoko's letter...
Whoa! The meeting times are off!
It's also strange that both letters wanted to change their meeting spot to the beach house. It would be plausible if one of them said it, but for both letters to say the same thing?
Hyoko, since you wrote it, what do you think?
Like I said, I never wrote the letter. How many times do I have to tell you?
I see! The killer must have forged both letters.
The killer forged them so they could manipulate their actions. Yeah, that's how we should think about it.
That seems very likely. In fact, if you compare both letters... Confirmed! Just as I assumed, the handwriting is the same. The content of the letters matches too.
Like this part. I was going to tell you in person, but I couldn't find you, so I put this in your mailbox. This part. It seems there's someone who wants to interfere with our meeting. And this part. Let's keep it a secret. Until then, let's try not to see each other for a while.
The killer forged both of those letters.
In doing so, they were able to control Hiyoko and Mahiru to do their bidding, like a netherworld puppeteer.
So they completely tricked me. And then Mahiru's killer. How mean! Give me back Mahiru!
Really? This is really terrible. I've offered to help so many times, but the killer this time didn't discuss their plan with me at all. It's all my fault. I'm so ashamed of being unreliable.
Here we go again. Once we let our guard down, this happens. We can just lightly punch him to death later.
So based on what the letter said, you went to the beach house at 2 p.m., right, Hiyoko?
What's most important is what happened afterward. What on earth happened
wanted to. I think I was forced to get a whiff of some kind of medicine or something.
Medicine? That medicine. Could it be? Did they get it from the drugstore? I thought that place seemed unsafe. They even have prescription medicines laying out in the open.
If you were aware of that from the start, you should have done something about it.
I'm sorry.
When I woke up, I was inside a small closet. And when I rushed out, I saw Mahiru's body.
And that's why you ran out of the beach house in such a panic.
I was scared. I was really, really scared. Really scared that I couldn't help, but...
The killer probably planned to frame Hiyoko from the start. And for that reason, they summoned Hiyoko before Mahiru, put her to sleep, and shoved her inside the closet.
So their reason for blocking the door with Mahiru's body was to make Hiyoko leave her footprints as evidence.
Everything was done to frame Hiyoko as the killer.
That's horrible! I didn't do anything wrong, and I was framed by Mahiru's killer!
Hiyoko, please do not cry. We believe you.
Is it really okay to believe her so easily? She might be faking those tears, you know.
This'll never end if you keep being so suspicious.
Isn't that what a class trial is all about? The only way to survive is to be suspicious. This is where we go to thoroughly doubt each other. So if you believe in each other so easily, then there's definitely something wrong with you.
You're wrong, Fuyuhiko. We aren't supposed to doubt each other here. We're supposed to work together. The class trial is where we cooperate with each other, work hard, and aim for victory. The killer and everyone else. Two hopes attempting to grasp the one true hope. Two hopes clashing with each other is poetry in motion. That is what a class trial should be.
Seriously, which side are you on?
I'm on the side of the absolute hope that can overcome any despair. And I believe that absolute hope exists at the point where two hopes clash.
Your stance is neither white nor black, but gray, and you do not yearn for your life, or even for victory.
Jeez, I wish he'd just side with the enemy already so I can believe what he's saying.
Let's stop. Believing every little thing Nagito says is a waste of time.
Yeah, we need to figure out who Mahiru's killer is.
There should be a new clue contained in what Hiyoko has told us. So, let us believe Hyoko's words and discuss it once again with everyone.
Yup, yup! The debate proceeds when you assume you can believe each other. Good job! That's the right way! That's the splendid power of teamwork! Hey, what do you think of that, Monokuma? I'm not gonna let you have the outcome you want! Whoa! He's sleeping!
Dumbasses. You bastards don't know anything. If you're stupid enough to trust each other, the only thing waiting for you is the bitter truth.
Well now.
Hey!
You say Nanu in German when you're surprised.
I'm Monami, and my heart is throbbing like crazy right now. To think that the person who killed the wonderful Mahiru Koizumi is in this room. Impossible! Impossible! That's so impossible! There's no way I can believe that! Oh, I can't do anything! How annoying! But I'm just gonna believe in everyone. That's the least I can do. Everyone do your best. Don't lose to yourselves. And don't forget to save regularly.
Well, now that we've decided to believe Hiyoko, now what? If the killer was luring Hiyoko into a trap, then something that was used there might be a clue.
Do you mean the letter?
No, it was probably the gummy.
Huh? Candy can be a clue?
Hey, when you woke up, was the gummy already there?
Now that you mention it, I feel like it wasn't.
Just as I thought.
Just as you thought?
If the killer planted evidence while Hiyoko was there, she would have thrown it away if she found it.
Which means the gummy was placed inside the closet after Hiyoko fled from the beach house?
The killer returned to the scene of the crime? After I left?
They wouldn't have to do something that troublesome as long as they hid somewhere within the beach house.
That's impossible! There's nowhere to hide! I even glanced inside the shower room as I was running away, but there was nobody there!
Then, does that mean the killer came back?
I wonder. At any rate, the solution to that problem is connected to what really happened. That's what I think.
all coming together! Do you think the killer might have been hiding?
You spent all that time thinking just to say something so pointless. How disappointing. Didn't I just say there was nowhere to hide? Do I have to explain it in another language so you can understand?
Her personality got a hell of a lot more forceful once she stopped being a suspect.
No, there should have been a place for them to hide. A place you didn't look, Hiyoko.
Oh, what are you saying? Stop being annoying or I'm gonna make Akane bop you on the head and shut you up for good!
Here! The killer was probably hiding in the closet.
The closet? That's where I was locked up!
After you woke up, you said you rushed out of it, right? And you probably didn't look inside the closet very carefully.
But could two people even hide in such a small place? And without Hiyoko knowing?
That's why the killer made sure to arrange a hiding place.
What about the surfboard case in the closet? I'm pretty sure they could have hidden in there.
Huh? Inside the surfboard case? But the shelf it was on, it was pretty messy, don't you think? Two surfboards were stacked on the top shelf, and there were surfboards that weren't even in a case. The killer probably did that on purpose to secure a hiding place. 'Cause we haven't been on this island that long, so the closet shouldn't have been that messy, I think. Then, the killer was close to me during that time?
Yeah, they were quietly holding their breath and hiding very close to you.
It's kinda like in for a penny, in for a pound, so to speak.
Don't you mean it's always darkest under the lighthouse?
I shouldn't say things I don't understand, like, so to speak.
Anyway, the killer hid silently, and after making sure Hiyoko left, they finally left the surfboard case.
I agree with that as well.
Seriously, nobody asked what you think.
There's no way the killer would leave Hiyoko by herself if they were trying to frame her. If Hiyoko was left alone and ruined the evidence the killer had planted, it would have messed up their plan. Instead, it makes more sense to think that the killer was hiding in the beach house, watching Hiyoko.
Say whatever you want, even if you didn't ask. Alright, if you don't want to friggin' get punched, just stand still and let me punch ya! Oh, you shut up. Then, grit your teeth.
Sorry, Akane. It's not like that. Hey, Monokuma. Can I ask you about something that seems strange to me?
I believe Prince Shotoku was from the future. A man from the future is always directing the flow of history.
I'll listen to your story about men from the future some other time. As I recall, the body discovery announcement is made when 3 or more people discover a body, right? Is the killer also included among those 3 or more people?
Yeah, that's true, but, well, something like that is basically what it's supposed to be.
You don't sound very articulate.
Jeez! You're pretty annoying for noticing something like that! I know it sounds like an excuse, but the body discovery announcement isn't supposed to be used for deduction. It's intended to create a fair trial. It's supposed to let everyone know a body has been found.
So you're saying it's unfortunate that I used it for deduction? I understand your excuse, but depending on who actually found the body, it's possible that your 3 or more people rule could be deadly.
Well, as long as I keep things ambiguous, I can respond to situations with some flexibility.
Flexibility, huh? So what about this time? Is it 3 people including the killer or not?
Jeez, fine. You want me to say it? It doesn't include the killer this time, okay? All done.
Which means 3 people other than the killer discovered Mahiru's body.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I just thought it was somewhat strange. More importantly, let's get back to our original topic.
You're the one who went on a tangent.
We were just saying the killer was hiding in the surfboard case, right?
And after Hyoko ran away, the killer got to enjoy the simple life of destroying evidence.
However, before we proceed any further, there's something we have to make clear. The killer blocked the roadside door with Mahiru's body before Hyoko ran away. But what about the blood?
Now that you mention it, that mystery hasn't been solved yet.
It's going to be alright. If you guys have come this far, I'm sure you can discover that answer too. Now, let's start the argument, shall we? What did the killer do with the blood on their body?
Maybe they simply washed it off.
They couldn't use the shower, right? So washing it off would have been impossible.
They didn't have to use the shower.
Oh, what about the wetsuits in the closet? Maybe they wore one when they moved the body.
If they used something other than the shower...
Damn it! What did the killer do with...
Maybe they simply...
They couldn't use the so washing it off would have been impossible.
They didn't have to use the shower.
Oh, what about the wetsuits in the closet? Maybe they wore one when they moved the body.
If they used something other than the shower...
What did they do with the bloody wetsuit?
They cut it up and floosh.
As someone who flushes their shit every morning, I can declare it would definitely clog the toilet!
Maybe it's the other way around? Perhaps someone other than the killer moved the body?
Maybe they were able to wash it off.
What did the killer do with the blood on their body?
Maybe they simply want...
They couldn't use the shower, right? So washing it off would have been impossible. Damn it!
What did the killer do with the blood on the...
Maybe they simply...
They couldn't use the so washing it off would have been impossible.
They didn't have to use...
What about maybe they wore one?
If they used something other than the shower...
What did they do with the bloody wetsuit?
They cut it up and...
As someone who flushed, it would definitely clog the toilet!
Maybe it's the other way around? Perhaps someone other than the killer moved...
Maybe they were able to wash it off.
What did the killer do with the blood on their...
Maybe they simply...
They couldn't use the shower, right? So washing it off would have been impossible. What did the killer do?
Maybe they simply...
They couldn't use the shower, so washing it off...
They didn't have to use the shower.
What about the wetsuits? Maybe they wore one when they...
If they used something other than the shower...
What did they do with the blood?
They cut it up and...
As someone who flushed, it would definitely clog...
Maybe it's the other... Perhaps someone other...
Maybe they were able to wash it off.
What did the killer do with the blood on...
Maybe they simply washed it off.
They couldn't use the shower, right? so washing it off would have been impossible.
No, that's wrong! If they just needed to wash off the blood, they didn't necessarily have to use the shower. They could have just as easily used something else.
Something other than the shower. Like what? I see!
Drinks inside the refrigerator. Couldn't the killer have used those to wash off the blood?
I've seen through it. In theory, then, that's impossible.
But why?
Try to remember the refrigerator carefully, and then you will understand that there's no possible way the drinks in the refrigerator were used. It's true there were drinks in the beach house refrigerator. However, try one bottle. It wouldn't be enough to wash off the blood.
I can't back down! We can't assume they used just one drink. They could have used a bunch of them to wash it off.
Didn't I say it was impossible? There were no water bottles in the refrigerator.
Allow me to cut through those words! There were water bottles inside the refrigerator.
How many times do I have to tell you? There were no water bottles in there whatsoever.
That was after the incident, right? But before the incident, there were water bottles in the fridge. And the killer took all of those water bottles and used them to wash the blood off their body.
So you're saying the water bottles were gone? Because they were all used? That's a logical fallacy.
It's not a fallacy. There should have been evidence inside the trash can. Evidence like a lot of thrown-away plastic water bottles. Isn't that right, Chiaki?
Oh, you're right. These bottles look like they may have been filled with water.
Well, now that you mention it, when I went to the beach house a few days ago, I feel like I drank one of those plastic water bottles.
Huh? You should have said so sooner! Then, the plastic water bottles were used in place of a shower.
Dousing your body with lots of water bottles is such a simple and easy to understand explanation.
It seems you've realized who the killer is. See? Just as I thought.
Hold on. You know who the killer is?
Is that true?
Let me ask, who might that be?
You're the only one! Heko, is it you?
Hey! What are you being quiet for? They're accusing you of being the killer!
Then I should ask you this. Why do you believe I'm the killer?
I remember when we were all meeting up to go to the beach. Your appearance when you came to the diner. If the killer really did wash the blood off with water bottles, they'd have to drench their entire body. But there were no towels in the beach house, and it would have taken a while for the water to fully air dry. So you said you went swimming so you'd have a cover story.
Don't just stay silent! Say something! Hold on, you bastard! You saw her at the diner! You never saw her near the beach house, right? So maybe she really was swimming!
No one even saw her swimming.
No. I saw her.